Presented by Wearable Fandom. Welcome to Wear Mighty Things, episode number 39, friends. We are live here on August 21st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, Best Coast. This is a podcast all about the Roosevelt's brand and community. Fandom, fashion, and friends is what we're all about here on Wear Mighty Things. And if that sounds like fun, well, my friend, you came to the right place. To receive all of our content updates, please subscribe and ring the bell to get notifications as our new content releases. Friends, my name is Dustin, and it's great to be back with you. I've been away for a couple of weeks, it feels like. I was traveling abroad, but I am back, and I am excited to be here with you guys. Thank you all for joining. I am thrilled once again to be behind this amazing mic, but I am not alone. I am not alone, my friends. And in fact, I'm never alone here. I've always got you out there listening, but here a little closer behind the other microphone, I've got a very, very special guest. In fact, I think I've shared on this podcast that my special guest tonight was the very first Roosevelt's insider that I ever met in San Diego Comic-Con 2023. And they told me about the insiders and everything that is and has happened on this podcast, and my participation is absolutely their fault. He's number 24 in your programs, but number one in your hearts. Please welcome James Ballgame from the See Nobody Cares podcast. Welcome, Ballgame. How you doing?
I am good, Dustin. That was quite the intro. Thank you very much. I take zero responsibility for anything you have done in Insiders or this podcast. I have nothing to do with it.
It's only blame. It's blame.
Right?
We'll play the ball game blame game is what we're going to call it.
You get all the credit. I planted a small seed, and you have done amazing things in the community. So I'm glad. It makes me happy to see everything you're doing.
Now, I've been excited to have you on to this cast, but we did have a little bit of a collaboration. If you remember, it feels like it was over a year ago. I was anticipating the Muppets drop, and I asked everybody to send me a video of them singing the Muppet Show theme. And you actually responded and sent me some killer stuff. And I edited that together and had a really good time with a bunch of insiders. So thanks for always entertaining my ridiculous ideas. I really appreciate it.
Well, that's what the community's all about. Like we can't take ourselves too seriously. We got to have a little bit of fun.
I am 1,000% on board with you. Now, I think a lot of folks in our community would recognize, but you have your own channel, See Nobody Cares, which I would love to hear you talk just a little bit about that for folks who may not be familiar. I don't know how it's possible, but what do you guys like to talk about over at See Nobody Cares?
So we talk a little bit about everything. We started. We're entering our third year.
Wow.
We have slowed down tremendously. When we first started going, we had no idea. Ollie and I had no idea what we were doing. We just knew we wanted to try a podcast, and we had enough in common, probably like you and John. Like we had Roosevelt's in common, we had baseball in common, we had we're just pop culture nerds, nerds from the 80s and 90s. So Ollie said, "You want to do a podcast?" And I said, "Sure." And we talk about everything: movies, sports, comic books. Roosevelt's was kind of the tie that binds. And then something interesting happened about a year and a half ago. Like we kind of became there's a lot of foodies in our group that liked our podcast. So then food became a thing for us, and so we're kind of all over the place. Lately, we've been kind of hitting comics pretty heavy. I can't tell you who's coming on our show, but we have a very special guest that people will recognize when they see their face. It's very recognizable. I will say the word star.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Is it Rob Liefeld?
We've been lucky. We've had a lot of great guests. I'm just surprised people will come on our show and talk to us. I think it's phenomenal.
That's great. Well, that's fantastic. And I've been a fan of yours and Ollie's for quite a while. And I wanted to actually show you, I think that I've got a Thurl. I always have a Thurl with me. This is he's getting cut off there, but this is the mascot for See Nobody Cares, Thurl. And Thurl has been with me around the world. I travel a lot, not just for work, but also for our sister channel, The Phantom Traveler. Did you know that this Thurl pin has been to Antarctica? It has been to Japan. It has been to Amsterdam.
That's amazing.
London. It's been to all of those. It's been to Montreal. Thurl is in my bag and comes with me on every trip. So this is kind of like a little sigil that comes back, and he comes with
that is super cool.
little, link back to the community. It's like I'm bringing the community with me just a little bit. I have a piece of Thurl, but Pizza Thurl's been misbehaving, but this Thurl gets to come with me on all my trips. So he's in my bag at all times. And I don't know I think I told you that. I don't remember if I did, but if you didn't know, he's been to the bottom of the world. Isn't that cool?
That is super cool. Thurl's special because Thurl was designed by Ian Globinger, one of the Roosevelt's artists. And so that was super cool for us to collaborate with Ian and get a design for our podcast. And then eventually you have a pin for people.
Yeah. We don't have a mascot. I guess John's our mascot. People might be wondering, where the heck is John? And well, it's not that, look, I tried to get Ballgame to break his contract. I did everything I could. I know the trade deadline is over for baseball, but John is actually witnessing now. In contrast to what John did to me last week, last week, John talked about me being in some sex dungeon in Amsterdam. He was telling everybody that I was trapped and I was unable to join because I was trapped in some sex dungeon. I'm going to tell you actually where John is. John is at Radio City Music Hall right now, seeing the 50th anniversary performance of Penn and Teller, which is pretty cool. Like, it's probably a lot more fun than being here and being on. Clearly, it's more fun than being here and being on a podcast. And so, thank you for joining me here and making the podcast that much better. We've got a few folks who are already.
Go
ahead.
Is there going to be a Where Mighty Things After Dark? Will you tell your sex dungeon stories? Is there like a special password I need for that?
We get 500 subscribers. We'll do that. We got a little ways to go, but yeah, we get enough subscribers. Maybe we'll do some fun stuff. And we actually have some friends showing up here. Hey, there we go. Dustin has returned. Ron was here last week co-hosting with John, and he's been a great friend to the channel and to the community. So good to see you, Ron. Yep. Oh, Brian's here. Oh, we got a ball game shout out again here from Ron. Josh Blum here to tell us that the Red Sox suck. Come on, Josh, be nice.
I mean, Josh Blum isn't wrong, but you know who they're better than? They're better than the Giants. Oops.
Yeah.
Did I say that, Dustin? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Hey,
they showed so much promise.
It's the curse of Devers. You guys will be fine next season.
Oh, next season, great, because this season's already over as far as we're concerned. In fact, the series when they spanked the Padres the other night, I was like, who are these guys, and what are they doing wearing Giants uniforms? But so now actually, I know you're a big baseball fan. But what is your I thought you're a Mariners team, but then I see you wearing a Red Sox hat. Can you help? I can't see. Oh, now I see baseballs and cards behind you. Yes, I guess that's quite the case you've got behind you.
Yeah, most of the stuff behind me is my son's.
Okay.
He collects baseball memorabilia. He collects baseball cards. So it's a lot of autograph cards that he's got, a lot of stuff he's acquired through the years. I help him a little bit, but it's mostly his stuff.
Amazing. Yeah.
The only things on this case that are mine are up here. Those balls at the top back there, and those are his home run balls or his pitching balls that he's had in games. So I keep those for myself. Those
amazing
for me to have.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to get his rookie card. he's a very active athlete, and I hope that
one day I hope.
Yeah, well, if that's his goal, I hope that he finds success, and he's certainly. I see your social media. You obviously include him and his exploits in that as well, and wishing him the best luck if his goal is to go pro. It'd be nice to know somebody who went pro.
I don't. I don't think he cares, to be honest. That's the best part about him in sports. He's the least competitive kid I've ever met. Right? He
Wow.
just goes out there. He goes out there and just kind of has fun with his buddies, and win or lose, he kind of just shrugs it off. Like he doesn't hang on the positives too long. He doesn't hang on the negatives long because it's sports. You win, you lose. Especially in baseball, there's a lot of failure involved in baseball, but
Yes.
he loves music too. He plays trumpet. He loves all the stuff he does. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, that's good.
It would.
That's the right
It also
attitude.
it wouldn't surprise me if he quit baseball tomorrow and went for the school play instead. Like I don't know. He's that kind of kid. Always
Well-rounded.
surprising me.
That's what we call that.
Well,
Well-rounded.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, I before we get too much further, I've got to ask, what are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
So I am wearing this is one of my favorite Roosevelt shirts. This is OG red tag, and this is one of the shirts that brought me to the brand. This is Oh My Gozer,
Oh
which
my gozer.
features Slimer, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Gozer, the Gozerian, and then you can't really pick it up maybe on the camera, but the background of this shirt is so intricate. And like many people, I was getting spammed in like 2018, 2019, 2020 on Facebook with all these like shirts that fit my algorithm, like, oh, Top Gun. And I kept Back to the Future and Ghostbusters. And I kept looking and be like, that's I think at that point they were $60 or $62. And I was like, oh, that's a lot for a shirt. But I was working in education at that point. I thought, well, these would be fun to wear on Fridays. And so I bought three. This one, I bought one of the Back to the Future shirts and one Woody's Roundup, I think is what I got.
Okay.
And they were a hit. They were a huge hit. So I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters. So I'm super, super excited I still have it. And I'm super excited that it still fits.
Well, I know that. I
Ooh.
resemble that remark as well, my friend. Well, I am wearing the True Lips. It's a Star Wars. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually a Star Wars shirt. It's the True Lips where it's the small stormtrooper heads. One of my favorites, and yeah, I just like hauled it from work to get over here and get things set up so I could join you on this cast tonight. But it's great. It's great to see, and I see a few more comments that are kind of coming through. Let's see. Somebody said I misheard foodies as booties. Okay, Brian. That's a comment from back when you were talking about the channel.
Well, Brian does like the booties, no doubt.
Ron says, glad to see you got untied. Yes, sir. I did. I did get untied. Brian follows up and says, so you weren't trapped in a sex dungeon? No, trapped implies that I was there against my will. If I'm there consensually, it's not a trap. It's not a trap. It's absolutely no Akbar. Then Ron gives a shout out to your son. Ruxin's the man. And Brian further encourages him to start a ska band playing with the trumpet. Does he play the trumpet? Is he in band?
He is in band and he does his trumpet, so maybe we can do that.
Okay, all right then. Wow, that's so crazy. That's awesome. All right. Now, I'm glad that you're wearing the Ghostbusters shirt because I also love Ghostbusters. In fact, I actually want to make a Phantom Traveler video of the various shooting locations that are in New York for the original Ghostbusters film. That's something that I'm going to try to do when I go over for New York Comic-Con. I'm get a break and like go around to some of the filming locations and just sort of see that and be in that. It's always a lot of fun. But we were talking before we came on the air and we in the lead up to the episode, spooky season is here. Now it's kind of weird because spooky season feels like it starts a little earlier every year. It's still August and spooky season is like October and Halloween. We're 2 months ahead of that business, but like, does it feel like it starts earlier every year to you?
Yeah, and do you know who we can blame for that?
Who?
We can blame Starbucks. It's those gosh darn pumpkin spice lattes that have moved fall from end of September, October, all the way to July. And I'm getting dangerously close to going on a rant, but I'm going to pull it back. But you're right. It is everything is coming sooner and sooner for spooky season. It's like, hey, happy 4th of July! Shoot off a bottle rocket. Here's your jack-o'-lantern. Let's go.
Well, it's true. I mean, people are. I always thought that Black Friday was a little early, but people are starting to even put up Christmas decorations. It's weird to put up Christmas decorations before you've already had Thanksgiving in the US. But I don't know. Maybe this was the holiday season with the most fungibility, because you can't have a Christmas tree before you've had your turkey. Like, that just wouldn't do in America. But maybe spooky season was the most fungible of the holidays. And I think you're right. Starbucks probably gets the blame. PSL, man. Why can't we just have something else?
You're right.
Man, I didn't even think about that. You actually now.
Yeah, I mean, like, there used to.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I used to live in New England, the fall was also apple season. Everybody in New England goes apple picking.
Okay.
Like, I grew up in Washington. No one went apple picking. We just had apple trees in our yard. No big deal. But so there used to be a small September apple season, but that just feels like it's a wash now, and it's all PSL starting in late July, early August.
Now, are you do you like pumpkins? I like to eat. Do you like to eat pumpkins or things of pumpkin descent? Oh, did you catch that? Do you like to eat pumpkins?
I think no, I'm not a pumpkin fan.
Okay. Not pumpkin pie, not nothing. Not
It's no, I'm not no, and I don't know why. It's not. I don't think it's terrible tasting. I think a lot of times if I try something that has pumpkin in it, people just use a lot of other nutmeg and cinnamon, everything else to like cover up the pumpkin. If that makes sense. So I just
Yeah.
end up getting a mouthful of spice. So
Wow. So you think, like, if you get a bite of pumpkin pie, you're not tasting pumpkin. For all you know, it could be something else with just a bunch of spices mixed in.
yeah, you got the pumpkin mush, and then you got the nutmeg, you got the cinnamon, you got the everything else all together. It's for some
Right.
people that's great, and I love it. Have your thing. Have your pumpkin pie. I'll take the pecan pie. I'll take a. My grandmother always made sure there was apple pie on the table for me, and a lot of people say that's a boring pie, but little apple pie was good for me. So
Yeah.
it
You
is
can
what
do
it
a lot of
is.
things with an apple pie. You can put cheddar cheese on it. You can put ice cream on it. I mean, there's a lot of ways to remix an apple pie. It's good on its own. Like, I'm a huge fan of apple pie.
The cheddar cheese is interesting, right? Like, I had never heard of that until I met my wife, and we were going to her parents' place, and her grandmother is renowned for pies in their family, and she made apple pie, and then someone's like, "Where's the cheese?" And I just thought they were joking. And nope, they got out the big wedge of Tillamook cheese and were hacking off slices, and then I was like, "We're putting cheese on the pie," and of course, like, I felt like I kind of had to do it because everybody was, and I wasn't going to get ostracized by these people. And lo and behold, it's fantastic.
It's funny how you find that out sometimes. You're like a little apprehensive, but then you try it and you're like, I will allow it.
Everything in my brain was saying, "No, this is wrong." But call it peer pressure, trying to impress. They weren't the in-laws yet, but just trying to go along to get along. And
Yeah. Well, chat, I want to know, what's the best pie? Which pie is best? Actually, from a Bears Beats in Battlestar Galactica. Question. Which pie is best? We're already getting some answers
I want
here.
to. I
Brian
want to see what they
says
come up with.
apple pie is greater than pumpkin pie. Okay, so Brian agrees with you. I'm just a pie guy. I'll just eat some pie. We got Matt Reed says chocolate cream. Yum. I'm assuming that's what you like. Now I will pronounce I grew up in the
Chocolate
South.
cream is good.
I grew up in the South, so I'm going to agree with Garrett here. Pecan pie. You said pecan pie, but we call it in the South pecan. What's a pecan pie?
Pecan. Okay.
Yeah. Let me see.
Pecan, tomato,
Sal
tomato. I'm
says
good.
if it's apple, it's got to be Dutch apple. And or maybe Garrett's updating his vote to say, oh, Gabe, get out of here. Gabe says beaver pie. Everybody knows that's just mystery meat. Pecan though, woo buddy. Okay. Yep. Thank you, Sal. Gabe, here's Gabe's real answer. He says, cherry for the win. See Nobody Cares podcast. I'm going to assume that this is Ollie, or maybe you've got a separate window
What
open.
up? What's up? It's not me.
It's not you.
Yeah.
My hands are above board.
Shepherd's pie is good.
So I'm going to guess that's Ollie.
Not me.
I guess that's Ollie. Then we're getting some
I guess
more.
that's Ollie.
Yeah,
shepherd's pie is good.
And here's chicken pot for Sal. Sal, you voted 3 times. Okay, so I guess I'll allow it here. Chicken pot. Are you a fan of chicken pot pie?
But you know what? I do like the pot pies. I love pot pies. There's a new chain of restaurants where I live called Pot Pie, and they specialize in little pot pies, and they're so good.
Nice.
So I'm a fan of that all day.
Now, when I was in London, I went to London for the very first time, and I don't mean this as a brag because I'm talking about food.
There's one pie that didn't. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. What pie are we missing? What pie are we missing?
We're missing the Ninja Turtles hand pie. Do you remember those?
Oh my gosh, I do remember that. Oh,
with like the green goo inside.
Yeah.
I can't believe no one said that.
Yeah,
come on, guys.
Yeah,
you
said there's foodies. You said there's foodies in your community there. Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Let's see. I found a lady here. Let's try it. Let's give it a try here. Hold on a sec. What do we want to do? We want to do this. And I'm going to share what I found here. Now I know you might, let me see. You might, we're going to see this lady. Check this out.
Hello. My name is Kay. Welcome to my channel.
She's making mean green empanadas. Part of my crew, this is what you're talking about, right? Let's just cut to the chase.
Okay.
I think here's one pie before we put the green icing on top.
She's putting green icing on top of empanadas. That's not what you're talking about.
Get the icing to.
This is not what you're talking about.
Harden.
You're talking about this.
I think this is like a homemade version of it.
Yeah, you're talking about these, right? Is this what you're talking about?
All
right. Did it?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Hold on a second. Brank. Oh,
I'm just seeing you and me.
Oh, I know what I did there. Sorry about that. How about this? This is what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yes, these are the hostess.
Yep.
Hostess pies with vanilla pudding power.
Yeah, with the vanilla. Yeah, not pudding, but pudding.
Pudding power. Yeah. I don't think I ate a lot of these.
Actually eat one of those today. I don't think I could.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking gross, isn't it? 5 ounces, vanilla pudding power, free sticker inside.
Does not look appealing.
Is it already moldy? Is it already moldy?
It definitely lived better in my mind.
Yeah, that's
it might
fun.
be.
Free sticker inside. Oh man, that's pretty crazy.
And you get a sticker inside. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh man, Matt says that reminds me of bubble beepers. Oh gosh. That's funny. Ninja pies were awesome. Ron says he agrees. And I'm going to say it's probably Ollie. Ollie gives us a turtle. All right.
There it is.
Do you see that little turtle emoji? Yeah, that's fun. All right. So let's keep going with spooky season because
beautiful.
Yeah, I love that Ghostbusters. Now, do you think that Ghostbusters, as adults, we know Ghostbusters is a comedy, but when you were a kid, did you think of Ghostbusters as a comedy or more of like a scary movie?
Favorite scary movie?
Exactly.
I think growing up, the favorite scary movie has to be the Monster Squad. Do you remember Monster Squad?
I do. Monster Squad?
Yes. I think I'm freezing a little bit. I'm getting a little choppy. Am I coming in okay?
Yeah, you're okay. There's a little bit of a delay, but that's normal. Yeah. So let me see if I can share my screen here. And
Oh,
I got you still. No, you're still here.
technical
You're still good.
difficulties here.
You're still good.
All right, I'm having trouble. I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Maybe that's
Okay.
just me. Maybe I'll move. That's it. That's the Monster Squad, baby. Did you ever see that movie?
I did see this movie in 1987. And you look at who's in here. Robbie Keeger, Andy Gower, people that we will never remember, but they won three awards. Did you see this? Let's see, what did they win awards for?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. They won best performance. Is that right? Best 4K home media release in 2025. Best DVD classic film release in 2008. Best supporting actor. So a couple of Saturn awards. All of these are Saturn awards. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what was scary about this movie for you?
But this movie was so when I was little, like I remember watching this and it was Dracula. Dracula was scary. The scenes where he was trying to get like the little girl and like also like there's a creepy old like Russian guy in the movie and he was just kind of creepy too, from what I remember.
Right.
Um, and then there's kind of this scene where the Wolfman guy turns into the Wolfman, and I did not like seeing that him kind of transform.
Oh yeah.
And then
Never.
on the other side, this movie's a little bit kind of like Goonies. Like you get all these kids together that are gonna go like save the world, and like I kind of always try to picture myself as one of those kids, or
Yeah.
wanted to be one of those kids, right? Who didn't want to be there fighting Frankenstein and Dracula and all those guys.
Yeah. There they are. Here they are, all like the all up shot here. You see the Wolfman. You got the mummy, creature from the Black Lagoon, and of course Dracula. Blah. Yeah.
But the other movie that really scared me as a kid. Do you ever see Stephen King's Silver Bullet?
Yes. You got a thing for Wolfman movies, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one I was like dropped off at my grandparents' house for the weekend. I was in the basement, like by myself, and I didn't know what I was watching. And I kind of got like hooked into it. And then that movie's dark. I was maybe 7. So I was pretty young for that, for a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
And I could not sleep for like the whole weekend at my grandparents' house.
Oh man.
And it also has Gary Busey in it, who's a whole other scary character altogether.
There he is right there. Gary Busey is in his own horror movie within a horror movie. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, and I don't want, I think I can probably give spoilers away on this, but there were some other, like they did some scenes where it's the priest who's the werewolf.
Oh,
And
man.
he gets like shot. Something happens to his eye, and that's how the boy finds out. And the boy is, of course, in a wheelchair. That's why it's called Silver Bullet, because that's the name of his wheelchair, is the Silver Bullet. So that's really great too. We got Wolfman chasing down a kid in a wheelchair, which is what we really need in society.
Yeah.
But
it's a killer wheelchair, though. Check this wheelchair is killer.
Gary Busey's his uncle and makes him like that motorcycle version of the wheelchair, which is just kind of nuts. But like there's even the scene like the priest becomes creepier and creepier throughout the movie, and then at the end he's got like an eye patch, and then he's like half transformed, half not, and it was just that stuck with me. The images stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah, man. Well, from my side, there's 2 movies.
But I'd also love to I'd love to see a Roosevelt shirt with the Silver Bullet wheelchair all over it.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be killer. That would be amazing. For me, scariest movie for me was An American Werewolf in London. And I don't know if you saw this, but it's directed by John Landis. And John Landis has directed a lot of my favorite movies, but for some reason, there's a couple of scenes in here after one of the guys is attacked, and I just had like this thing burned into my brain, similar to what you were saying about like when you saw a few things, you're just like, this does not track for me, and pretty crazy. It's got a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, so that's kind of neat. It won an Oscar too. I did not know that it won an Oscar. Interesting choice of werewolf.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. This one freaked me out, man. This one just really stuck with me. This one, and then the other movie, because you mentioned it, it brought it back to me, which was Cujo. Do you remember Cujo, the Stephen King movie?
The dog, yeah.
Yeah. So Cujo was a dog that got bit and got rabies. And I'm a dog person. I love dogs. And so like having a dog that like goes rogue and attacks, it's like it's antithetical to like the loyalty of a dog and the love, what do I want to say here? The unbounded love that dogs have for their owners. And just seeing the dog get crazy like that just really scared me. This scene right here where the dog was going after the person in the car, like it was just bonkers. I did not love that. This one just really, it not only scared me, it stayed with me because, to be honest, like it was actually more about the idea that dogs could potentially go rogue, and then like you never know. Am I dealing with a good dog or a psycho dog? So even though I loved dogs and still love dogs to this day, that scared me. That one really, really scared me. Man, let's see what people have said here. A couple of reactions. Wolfman's got nards.
Yep. I got that a lot with my last name being Nardo. I got that a lot.
Oh man. Ron says the original Halloween has always been my favorite scary movie. Yes, that's definitely a good one. The soundtrack, music is so important in horror movies. It builds the tension, whether it's Jaws or Psycho
100%.
or Halloween. Music really kind of carries the day. Matt says the Friday the 13th movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, Nightbreed, way too many to list.
Hellraiser.
Here's a good one. Ron's calling out Mr. Boogedy. You from Disney, actually. That's a pretty fun one. And when do we get the Mr. Boogedy drop? Let's see. How about Salem's Lot?
I'd be a fan. Mr. Boogedy 2, The Bride of Boogedy, was real good.
Yeah, for sure. What else do we got? Gabe says Jason is my favorite slasher, but I really like Ghost in the Machine as a kid. All right. 13 Ghosts. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a pretty crazy one. Brian agrees. It's pretty excellent. And then recommendation from Brian, the new Hellraiser is actually pretty good. All right, that's pretty good. Now, continuing on with our spooky theme.
Fair enough.
I'm curious if you can share a story about when you actually, not from a film, but like whether it was Halloween related, or was there ever any moment in time where you actually got like totally freaked out, like in real life?
Yeah, there have been quite a few times where I think I've been like scared, mostly in my youth. But there was a time when I was younger and I wasn't supposed to watch certain movies, and my grandparents were in town, and my dad and my grandfather, they rented Predator, and I think I was 5, maybe 5, and I snuck downstairs and I made it to like the skin bodies, like hanging in the trees, and I ran. Like I ran out of the room, and we had like this under the stairs Harry Potter style closet, and I just ran into that closet and just closed the door, and I really thought, like, in my little 5-year-old brain, that the predator was gonna come to get me. and I stayed in that closet for several hours.
Wow.
My grandfather and father were outside. My mom and grandmother, they were upstairs. They would like, and then it was like a big Italian cooking day. So then everybody came together and was cooking, and everybody kind of thought it was great that I was self-entertaining myself because I wasn't getting in the way of the cooking in the kitchen. But really, realistically, I was in the closet hiding from the predator because I didn't want to get skinned alive, and that's where I stayed for a
Oh
long time.
man, you're 5 years old. Gosh, man, that's scary. Yeah, that's a lot to take in. For me,
It's a lot.
when I was there's a couple of things that there's one good story that I'll mention. I went to haunted house, and I regular listeners will know this, but I grew up in Orlando, Florida, and there were, at the time, it wasn't quite as big as Orlando has kind of become in the last 10 years or 20 years. And there were a bunch of these like interesting intersections, large intersections where they had these huge lots and old houses or farmhouses that were still there. So you've got like a highway going in both directions, but you've just got this ancient house. And during Halloweens, they would actually set up haunted houses in these places, and they would sell tickets, and they had a big giant lot where people could kind of pull off the highway and park, and then you go through and see all the spooky stuff. And at that time, Friday the 13th was pretty famous, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the one that like everybody was talking about in school, like on the playground. They're like talking about Leatherface, and there's something about the chainsaw. You can have a chainsaw, but it requires a chain to operate, right? If you don't have a chainsaw if you don't have a chain on your chainsaw, what do you have? You have a thing that makes a lot of noise, but it looks like it's operating and working, right? And so
Right.
as a kid, I'm standing outside, and we're getting ready to go into this haunted house, and all of a sudden I hear run, run, and then I look up, and on the top of the roof of the house is a guy with a Leatherface mask on, everything. He's got the whole thing, and he's got the chainsaw, and you can see the smoke coming off the chainsaw. It's working. He's like, nying, 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 nying. And then he's like basically came down and was chasing kids around with the chainsaw that didn't have the chain. So you can't see. It's dark. Your brain is filling in, the gaps of what's going on here. And that scared the crap out of me. Like I ran back to the car, and I didn't want to go into the haunted house after that, because I'm like, if this guy's on the outside, what the heck's on the inside of this thing? I just was not interested at all. I learned a valuable lesson that, the chain's got to be on the saw in order for it to work. But man, that was scary.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Let me see. Oh, there's a couple of scary moments in the chat here. Ron shares a couple. This is a multi-comment here. Scariest moment was one time when my son was like 4 or 5. We were in the store. My wife and I were looking at something, turned around, and he was gone, looked all over and couldn't find him. Wait, there's more. Found a store manager who was helping us look, going to call it in. All of a sudden, he popped out of one of the racks. He had been hiding the whole time. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, because he saw the skin suit from the Predator movie, and he had to get some safety, right? He had to climb into the rack, right? He saw something scary. He had to get in there. I mean, the story tracks, right? We just heard Ballgame give his version of that story. That's crazy. Man.
I used to do that to my parents all the time at like Nordstrom's. So we would go in, and they'd have the clothing racks that were the circles, and my mom and sister would be for hours. So I would just sit in a rack. I'm like, you got to find me now. That was always the game.
Wow. Oh,
I'm
man.
in a rack. You got to find me.
I'm in a rack. And of course, your mom's, pissed by the time she finds you.
Typically. she'd be whispering, Jimmy, where are you? Come here, Jimmy, where are you?
Oh, wow. It's interesting. Does your mom still call you Jimmy, or does your family call you that?
So growing up with the name James, people call you everything.
Oh,
you don't get a lot of like choice. It's James, Jimmy, Jim, Jimbo, Jim Bob. It just kind of goes. But so I've always gone by James, but like my mom, when I was little, called me Jimmy. My grandparents called me Jimmy. Sometimes people in sports would shorten it to Jim because people would like to give everybody a nickname in sports. And then before ball game happened, and then just it wasn't until like college where everybody was just kind of like done with that. And like, oh, you're James, great, we'll just call you James. I'm like, oh, there we go.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I never really had a nickname with the name Dustin, but people would call me Dusty. Occasionally, I had a really good friend who called me Dustonian.
Yeah.
And I had a friend named Jim that I called Zimbabwe. That was my nickname for him, Zimbabwe. But I don't let people call me Dusty now. You got to be a really, really good friend to get away with calling me Dusty, because it makes me think of Three Amigos, Dusty Bottoms, the worst amigo. So I'm like, no, he's the worst amigo. Oh, Jimothy. I've never heard that. You heard Jimothy? You've heard Jimothy?
So Jimothy, yeah. So my wife, when she was my girlfriend, meeting her roommate in college for the first time, she called me Jimothy. And she'd be like, I love Jimothy, Beth. You got to be with Jimothy. Like, Jimothy. And I was like, well, if I'm getting points with the roommate, this is good. So I'm not going to say anything. But
yeah, you're getting points with the family, putting cheese on pie, and you're taking on adopting weird nicknames in order to make.
This is what happens when you meet a beautiful woman. All of a sudden, you let people call you different names, and you put cheese on apple pie. That's what you do.
I know. I am afflicted by the same illness. Gabe says, "Who's this James guy you speak of?" That's Ballgame. Yeah. So when did actually? I never asked you this, but when did what's the origin of the nickname Ballgame, and when did that start?
It started in high school. I had PE first period, and we played a lot of 3-on-3 basketball. PE in high school was just check in, do whatever the hell you want. And the coach or the teacher just read the newspaper. And so I played a lot of 3-on-3 basketball, and I had a knack for, getting the ball at the end of the game, and just I would shoot and call ball game. This is before we called Kobe, right? People now would say Kobe. And I would just shoot and say ball game to end the game, and it would go in more times than it wouldn't most of the time, so I felt, or I would kind of wait till I knew it was going in, then I would yell ball game. And then translated to the baseball. It translated to the baseball field. Some of the same kids in PE, and I hit a walk-off in baseball, and they're like, ball game. And then we had one of those coaches who gave every kid a nickname. So once he got a hold of it, that was the end of it.
Oh, wow.
And then like it kind of like stuck with me here and there, went away kind of a little bit during college. But then when I started working in education, I kind of had to hide myself online. You don't really want to be accessible to students,
sure,
or parents, and so I was like, oh, I'll just James. I was like James Matthew. I was just gonna go James Matthew. That's my middle name, and then friends like, yeah, you should just James Matthew Ballgame. It sounds like you're a grown up now. Sounds super professional. And I was like, okay, I went with it.
There it is.
So
I did not realize.
Occasionally I'm good. Occasionally I can call Ballgame every once in a while. So I'm pretty happy when that can happen. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's it.
Wow,
Nothing too magical.
Ron threw a comment in here, says, "Oh, what's Kobe? You mean Jordan?" Now,
but we didn't call Jordan growing up.
Nobody called Jordan. You stuck your tongue out. If you were trying to be like Mike, you bought his shoes and you stuck your tongue out, and then you generally proved you couldn't dunk. That's my experience with nobody calls Jordan. That's interesting.
We would just count down 3, 2, 1. It's good. That was it, right?
Yeah. Now it's interesting. Since he brought this up, Ron is indirectly trying to make a Hall of Fame argument, I think. But can we talk just a little bit about? Okay. Can we complain a little bit about something? And this is Roosevelt centric. Can we complain about the East Coast bias that the Roosevelt has? I don't know about you, but I'm like in the middle of meetings and drop zones are happening, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's 4:00 on the East Coast where people are winding down their days. Nope, not here. I'm in the middle of something. Have you had that experience where you miss a drop because you're in work or something along those lines? Am I a bad insider because I don't stop working to buy shirts in the middle of the day? What's going on?
Yes, you're a horrible insider. If you're not setting like alarms for 12:55 to excuse yourself from meetings, to lock yourself in a bathroom, to get on your phone and make an order, you're the worst of the worst. 100%.
Boo.
So out here, I'm pretty much based at home, working through home most days, and so I have a little flexibility. Um, but like the drops that are harder for me are the drop zones in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then
9
those are
a.m.
like at 9. Those are like at 9 a.m. I'm usually a lot of times I'm in the car, like on the way back from dropping the kiddo off or doing something. So like then I'm like pulling over on the side of the road trying to get a drop zone in. Um, but yeah, I think you're right. I think there is a little East Coast bias, and they're an East Coast based company, so I get that to a degree. But I would love to see some like every once in a while, let's do a drop for the West Coast kids. Like, hey guys, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky because you see people, oh, I was in a they feel the need to post on work how they missed, why they missed, yada yada yada. And it's like there's some people that like I used to like you could probably find it on insiders, but I used to be like, here are like the 10 steps to making sure you don't miss a drop. Set an alarm, set a backup alarm, update the app, clear your cookies, clear the cache, like all these things. But like realistically, what it comes down to is like, are you available? If
Right.
you're available and you're ready and you're tech savvy, you're gonna be okay. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. And like usually a lot of people, you're right, 4 p.m. No one really is having 4 p.m. meetings. I've never really had a 4 p.m. meeting. Most meetings are in the morning, but like that 4 p.m. East Coast, 1 p.m. out here, that can be challenging because you got those after lunch meetings, you're getting started right back up. So my advice to people is take a late lunch.
There you go.
I don't
There
know
you
what else
go.
to say.
And search insiders for ball games tips on how to get a drop zone. Yeah,
Right.
Gabe
And
says,
don't complain.
yeah,
Don't
and
complain
don't
either.
complain.
Like
Don't complain. Yeah, we're ranting
nobody
just a
wants to
little
hear
bit.
it.
Yeah. So then we've got Gabe here who says we do get our shirts first since we're on the West Coast and it's coming out of San Diego. Yes, but we also get to pay taxes twice, depending. I mean, I don't know about you because you're down in SoCal, but we have to pay San Francisco city tax and San Diego tax on all the shirts
Right.
that we get. So it's kind of and I know, Gabe, you're paying the same taxes because you're out by me. So I don't.
I just want a pickup window. Is that too much to ask for? Like, hey, can I just place my order, Tuesday, 1 p.m., order in. Can I get in the car and just drive down to the warehouse? It's
Yeah,
probably a 40-minute drive, 30-minute drive from where I live. Let me, knock on the door, maybe they'll pick up window. Here's my, look at my phone. There's my everything. Yep, you can find it on the shelf right over there. I can even help. Give me a couple other guys. I'll use pirate ship and send it on out.
yeah.
Everybody wins.
There we go. There we go. You got a plan. You
But
got a
no, we are lucky. I do.
Yeah, go ahead. We are lucky.
We are lucky. I used to get shirts. If I ordered a shirt on a Tuesday, I would get it by Thursday, Friday at the latest. It,
Right.
it used to be clockwork that way before DHL.
Yeah, that I started buying shirts just before they made that changeover. Yeah. Actually, so there was a really big update to the Club KUNU stuff, and I think we want to talk about that, moving the conversation over to Roosevelt's. But I'm a little bit curious if you could reflect, because you said 2018, 2019. That was back when you first bought this shirt. That's been 6-7 years, and I'm kind of curious. Any reflections on how the brand has changed since those early days when you were getting spammed on Facebook?
I mean, besides just the obvious that it's bigger
Right.
now, right? Like, I was just in Cooperstown and I found some shirts in a store in Cooperstown, which I don't think they're a wholesaler. I think they probably just bought them on the site and probably just put them on their rack. Probably shouldn't do. Um, it's a machine now. Like like drops were not consistent. you really had to pay attention to insiders to know, like, oh, next week there will be this, and then there may not be a drop for a few days, a week or two, and things sat. You wanted Samoa Waves. It was in the store. No one was buying it. It was just sitting there. No one knew what it was. You wanted Beverly Chills, 24K Lightning was just there. Like people, you could buy it. It wasn't like a thing. Um, I so I bought a few shirts early, but I wasn't in insiders until COVID. COVID
Okay.
is when I found insiders, and that was just on top of it was right after May the 4th, actually, in COVID. And it was a crazy May the 4th drop because I ended up getting Grand Moff and Grand Maz and Toy Box all in one.
Wow.
And in 2020, like I did not know what the value of those shirts were, but then right after that, I got like my thank you for ordering. Oh, by the way, you should join this insiders group on Facebook. So I went and I joined, and then I see all these different people commenting pictures and oh I missed, and then I get invited into BST, and then I start seeing some of these shirts that I just purchased that I haven't worn selling for like $300 and $400 and $500, and I was like,
Wow.
what just happened? What's happening here? So that was cool. And then it's I think I think Roosevelt's fandom and insiders is cyclical in a way. Like you get new, fresh blood, which I think is fantastic. It is hard to keep up, especially now because there's so many drops. There's a lot of great shirts. Not every shirt is for me, and I think every insider at one point feels like they almost have to buy every shirt. There is that window for some. I think that maybe it lasts 5 weeks, or maybe it lasts 5 months, maybe it lasts 5 years, however long it lasts. But then you get to a spot where you're very like you come back and you're like, these are the shirts I really want. These are the shirts I really like, and you're really happy for everybody that can find their shirts. Um, but it's a wild ride for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt that way when I first joined because I I really wanted I had already um thought about the wearable fandom channel before that happened. And there's a lot of brands, heroes and villains, box lunch, and things like that. So I was trying to keep up. And my idea was like, oh, I'll review every shirt from Roosevelt's. And that dream went away in like 3 days. 3 days. Because I spent the first video that I made on this channel, if you go back and look at it, was the Himele no Lilo. And I love that shirt because I was able to find like where they sourced the artwork that's in the backfield, and it came from production images and things like that. Talked about the plant that they used and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, hey, this was fun, but you're about to be drowned by shirts. You're just no way you're going to keep up. And it's just kind of the way it is. So for a little while, I was absolutely just buying everything. And then, yeah, you're right. You're just like, yeah, now I tend to buy the stuff that I really want. And if there's an exclusive that I can't get a hookup on, I'll try to get somebody to pick up for me if possible. And so now I've gotten a little more picky and choosy, but there was that period of time where I was trying to buy everything for sure. Yeah.
What is your shirt count up to?
I would say my shirt count at this point is got to be, I've got to have like 140, 150. Like I've got to easily have those, with some that are still bagged that I haven't taken out, like I own them. I know I like them.
Yeah.
There's a few that I'm keeping
Yeah.
because I'm trying to decide, what I want to do with them. I have like one of those Genie D23 shirts, like a 2X of that. And I'm trying to figure out some kick-ass charity thing. Like, I don't know if you followed that, but we've done a lot of raffles for shirts. Like we got at the Outpost last year at New York Comic Con, I found a size medium of the MCO floral shirt that they couldn't sell it at MegaCon the year before because they got cease and desisted. And there was just one sitting there on the rack. And I was like, oh my God, I got this shirt. And then I called John. I was like, John, I got an MCO floral. He's like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm happy for you. I'm like, it's a medium. I'm like, we're going to raffle this and we're going to make a donation. We're going to make a donation on behalf of the community to the Gebhardt Foundation. And so we ended up doing that and we raised like $1,000. So I do have a few of these shirts that I like and I might consider wearing, but I'd much rather like find a way to turn it into some community good or some like charitable good. So I'm always on the hunt for that. So if anybody's got any ideas that don't involve me just giving you the shirt, uh, I'm open for that. We're definitely willing to go the extra mile where we can to do a little good. I think we should be doing that. In fact, as we transition over. And actually, you know what? You didn't react to my shirt count. Am I low? Like, am I
No,
just
I think you're no, I think you're good. I think in my peak shirts, I was probably right around 140, 150.
okay? All right, yeah,
I think that was my peak. So I think, some people have like nearing 1,000 now, which just
yeah,
seems like ridiculous. But some are in the 500s, the 400s. No, I think 140, right around there, like, because there is so much.
yeah.
And then, you're a seasoned pro now, you're a veteran. You've been around a few years. So you know the ins and outs of BST, you know how to make trades, you know how to, you know, connect with people. So you're not paying full price for every shirt, especially on BST, but some you're paying maybe a little over, or you're paying whatever it is. But um and I lately, I've been wearing hoodies more than shirts, to be honest. I've been
Interesting.
real, especially like come fall out here, like fall through like late spring, hoodies are just where it's at for me. Like,
Yeah, the hoodies in
so
San Francisco
I
are a
think I
little
think that's
thin.
good.
Go ahead.
Okay. And then going back to your point about, the charitable stuff, that also to me was a very special part of Insiders, and is a lot of the stuff I thought Steve modeled for the community, and then a lot of other community members have done a lot of great things through the years, whether it's been shirt donations, shirt raffles, helping out an insider here and there. Um, I've known people that have gone through hardships, and other people have just sent them money to be like, I'm gonna buy your closet and so you can keep it. Don't say a word about it. Or I'm going
Wow.
to send somebody this because they went through something. A lot of people don't post this, right? The best stuff actually is never posted on Insiders because people aren't looking for the attention. And that to me that's what has kept me around for so long. It's just the goodwill of the good people.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely echo that sentiment, and it's it's been really nice. There's a lot of great people. Anytime you get a community of a sufficient size, you're going to get the entire spectrum. And like you said, there's going to be people complaining, my app didn't open, why didn't I get a chance? There's going to be people bragging, I got it, ha ha ha. But for the most part, the kind of people that I've interacted with and that show up to meetups and things along those lines, all good people I would love to have a beer with, people I would love to catch a game with, just people that are fun to hang out with. And to be honest, that's what's kept me around too. I'm not going to buy every shirt. Not every shirt is right for me. Some of the colors don't match with my delicate skin tone. And why would I want to buy those shirts if I just wait until the next one that looks better on me comes along and I'll wear that shirt, right? It doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be for you, but like we really do have a great community of folks. And I like that people show up for each other and they help out and they're interested and they take interest in what's going on in their lives. And that's really cool. It's come for the shirt, stay for the people. And, the people who don't really fit that model, they're what I call local weather, right? Those kind of people don't tend to stick around because they're not necessarily getting fed what they need in terms of attention. Those people will move on to another community that will give them what they're looking for. So we don't have to suffer them too long. So yeah. Beers with Dustin, says Brian Lons. I am in. Yeah, man. We got to do that.
I like that term, local weather.
Yeah,
I like that.
I use that in life. Go for it.
I'm gonna borrow that. I'm gonna borrow that, Dusty.
Well, you can call me Dusty. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'll officially give it to you. I get a little. I got a tick. I got a tick when that happens, but I'll acclimate to it. And it's yeah. But local, you know what local weather, just to say a little bit more about that. Local weather says, I'm frustrated at this situation, but our relationship at its core doesn't change because of this. Right? That's why I say it's local weather. So you in a relationship, you're like, hey, this is just local
Yeah.
weather. This blows over. That's the real like extension of that. This will blow over. So yeah. So look for local weather and just make sure that it is local indeed. Got another comment here. Ron says, can't wait to have beers with Dustin. Hope it's on the Insiders Cruise. Oh my God. Well, are you familiar with the Insiders Cruise? You must have seen that. I'm not getting paid to shill for it, but it is a pretty good time. I went earlier this year and I had a great time. And there's another one coming up in May. John said that he's got 100 people already signed up, paid for that cruise. That
That's
is
awesome.
insane that he's actually done that. And I'm really proud of him. He worked really hard. He had to learn a lot to get that stuff set up. And so, yeah, so if you're interested in the cruise, I'm not here to promote it here. John gets to do that when he's on the cast, obviously. But if he did tell me he's running out of room. So if going to the cruise is something you want to do and you want to get a discounted room, which he also gave me the non-discounted prices, which I was shocked by, book through John. Definitely book through John. You're going to save a lot of money and you're going to be happy that you did. But yeah, a lot of people, man, it's just really cool. And yes, I will look forward, Ron, one day, Ron, we will meet in person. Will it be on the cruise? I can't say just yet because I have a lot of big plans for the Travel Channel next year. And Ballgame, do you realize that the Catalina Wine Mixer is the end of May on Catalina Island? And it's the 10th anniversary, and we're going, right? We got to go.
We should go.
It's the Catalina Wine Mixer.
The wine mixer.
Yeah.
It's the biggest helicopter leasing event in the Western Hemisphere since 1997.
Exactly. The Catalina Wine Mixer. So, and if you were wondering if they are aware of Step Brothers on Catalina Island, yes, they are. They're doing a whole big shindig there. So I got a lot of things to plan out next year. I'm not ready. I want to go on the cruise. Don't get me wrong. I love the cruise. I'm proud of John. There's a lot of people I want to meet. Cruises are fun, but there's a lot of things that are stretching me like Stretch Armstrong. Or if you saw the recent Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic. All right, Ballgame. Let's move over. I want to talk about the Camp KUNU updates.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of fun. Camp KUNU. Meow, here we are. Look at that. It's Camp KUNU. So this week, Roosevelt's shared a lot of interesting news about Camp KUNU. Basically, let's see. Have I signed in? This is not a signed in account. Let me sign in. Boing.
Can you hit the show password button for us real quick? Just
no. Let's go. Yeah, I know. It's like, let's go. Oh, maybe I have it wrong. I just signed in. I was just signed in. Bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. Oh, well, I guess we're not doing that. Let me see. Blink. See. Okay, come on. Field notes. Where are you? Field notes. That's not what we want. Okay, maybe I need to stop sharing for a second here. Am I gonna? I just was looking at it. I was just looking at it. Hold on a second. Rewards. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't actually have to sign.
It's got to be there.
Yeah, it is. Well, actually, I don't need to sign in order to show it. That's the problem. What I was trying to show was the different tiers. And in order to show the tiers, you've got to be signed in. I am Fox tier, which means that I spent $1,500 or more. And by the way, I'd like to point out that exclusives bought at cons don't count towards that total. It only counts transactions that go through this store. So they came up with a whole list of things that you could do. You can make purchases, that'll give you points per dollar. You could join the program. You can like on Facebook and do this stuff, and you can get some extra points. That's kind of cool. But like the real thing that we want to know is the rewards. And there's a list of rewards that we're familiar with.
You only get 500 points for your birthday?
That's right here. It's supposed to be 2,000.
Mine said I get 1,500 points for my birthday.
You must be extra cool, brother.
Mine says 15,000 points.
Well, this is not signed in. So this is the non-signed in view. So
okay, that's why.
Yeah, so it might change the values here because of your loyalty, your history, and that kind of stuff.
Based on your tier.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The more you spend, the more points you get. I get it.
Yeah, it's just like politics.
Fair enough.
The more you spend, the more votes you get. So this tier of rewards is a tier that we're familiar with. $5 off coupon, free shipping. You need to be using free shipping. Like, you're crazy if you're not. Notice that 15% off is gone. I don't see 15% off, but I expect they'll still give those codes for testimonials. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, and $50 discounts. So yeah, so these are all here still. These, and maybe they added a couple. I don't remember $30 and $40, but maybe they were there.
40's been, I know 40 has been there.
Yeah. Okay. So then we get down to the next level where you can actually cash out those points for stuff, and some pretty good stuff here. First up is that backpack. The V1 backpack is 8,500 points. Now, just like Japanese yen, you just move the decimal in twice and you've got an approximation of what the cash value of this is supposed to be, right? So 8,500 points is basically like $85, which I think is pretty close to tracking.
Yep.
Like, they have a special Camp KUNU series of shirts, and they actually have tuxes of these. So they've got matching shorts. So you can get the blue KUNU shirt here for 6,500 points, a red one, a topograph, which this is actually one of the backgrounds that they have on the website and that they've used some shirts before. Coming back down
the
here.
topograph used to.
Go ahead.
Topograph used to be the bag. Used to be the bag they sent you the shirt in too.
Oh, yeah. I've gotten a couple
bag
of those
with the topograph map.
Got it. Yeah. They've got some hybrid shorts that are 6,000 points. So you've got red, blue, and topograph shorts. That's kind of cool. And then, hey, here, this is for you, Ballgame. They got performance hoodies. They got a blue performance hoodie. Then they go down to the pocket square / tie. 4,000 points for a pocket square and tie. This is where it started losing me, because I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of cool. But like, you don't put a pocket square in your Camp KUNU shirt. No one's doing that. You got to find a shirt that matches this stuff. They had an inverted topo performance hoodie here as well. Now, this was something I liked. The Camp KUNU crew neck tee, which has kind of this Goonies looking skull on it. That's kind of cool.
The Patrick Swayze candle.
Yes, the Patrick Swayze candle. You know the lore on this? What's the background?
I don't know the lore on the candle. I know the quote from Point Break.
Yeah, Vaya con Dios. 2,500 points here. They got a bow tie. I'm like, all right, somebody's got to wear that. They've got a heavyweight utility pouch for 1,000 points. Some coasters that are topographic. Bow tie, another bow tie, a leather keychain, a wooden bottle opener. That's kind of cool. And then they get the wrapping paper. The wrapping paper that they usually add at Christmas time for free. You can just buy that wrapping paper for 400 points. I will say, if you haven't had this wrapping paper, this is good wrapping paper. This is thick, good quality wrapping paper. I would wrap Christmas presents in this. Good stuff. On this list, like, what are you actually excited about? And any general reactions to the things that are on the first slate of rewards you can redeem?
So I love the topograph hoodie. That speaks to me. I'm a big fan of that. I like the colors of the Camp KUNU shirts. Somebody today, I was talking, I think Adrian Alston and Patrick Swan and Thomas Ellswick and I were talking, and the red one, it was like, someone said it's like Ghost Palms meets NYC Mosh 1.0.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I kind of see that. So that's kind of cool. So I already know a lot of these are moving. People are cashing in starting yesterday.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with some of these. If people wear them, is it going to become like, I'm going to try to flip it on BST real quick? But I'm also excited that there's an avenue now for people who didn't get sent a backpack a year and a half ago when those were getting sent out. I'm super excited. There's now an avenue for them to have the original backpack. I keep waiting for the new version of the black backpack to drop.
Right.
I saw John had that not this year at San Diego Comic-Con, but 2 years ago in 2024, he was wearing a different backpack. So I'm curious if that's coming. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a little something for everybody. I don't know that I need a utility pouch, but I would definitely like maybe depending on what you're doing, a bottle opener would be cool. I think there's a miss here though. I
Okay.
think
What's the
there's a
miss?
miss.
Uh-oh.
I think the miss is so pin trading has been really big the last year in insiders, and they need to create like a pin book. They need a Roosevelt's pin book where you can walk around the show with your pins because you can't carry like guys now have hundreds of pins. You can't have them all on your lanyard,
Yeah.
and you can't bring your entire cork board. And Steve didn't design it this way, but when the backpack dropped and then pins came right after, people started using the backpack to secure pins on. But then now people have so many pins, I think there should have been a pin book in there, like a special Roosevelt's Camp KUNU pin book.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I think that's a really great call out. And it was so off my radar. I was just like, oh my God. Yes. As soon as you said that, I was like, ding, ding, ding. Absolutely. I think that they also should have thrown up the lanyards that they give away at cons, because they always take those back, and they tend to be in the floral. If they have a floral like as an exclusive, they tend to include that there. I think that's another thing that they could throw up there for just a few hundred points, that you can wear that around. Yeah. So then Ron says, my birthday says 2,000 points. So on my mobile app, which you cannot see, yeah, I guess I have the background on there. Mine says 2,000 as well. I am Foxed here, which means I earn 14 points per dollar spent.
You're up here.
Yeah, I'm Foxed here. I have 6,799 Camp KUNU points. So I cannot buy the backpack. I need to spend more. There were a couple of things though that in addition to those gaps, there are terms and conditions on buying these things. Did you notice that it's actually required that you spend, in order to redeem points, some of these things require that you order $20 worth of merchandise. So you need to like bundle a shirt purchase with the giveaway. And I don't know if everybody saw that. I was a little bit surprised that they required that, but I'm sure there's a really good reason for that. It's just, why are we doing this? Yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting, but a lot of them had with $20 purchase or something along those lines, meaning you couldn't just say, send this to me, I'll pay shipping. I don't know if that has to do with justifying the price of the shipping and handling or whatnot, but yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. Yeah, let me see.
Did you see John? Did you see when John posted the other day, or somebody, I think it was John, said there's going to be other things coming later for the store, like potential fast passes for con pickups and other things like that. So I think that's going to be interesting too.
Yes. And actually, I think that is a really great thing that people can do. My day job, I used to work on the PlayStation Plus product at Sony. And I don't talk about my day job very often, but we did some things like that where you went to the PlayStation experience. If you were a PS Plus member, you would get to cut lines and things like that. So it was a little bit of a loyalty reward for paying for multiplayer. And and so I think it's a similar idea. I was talking to John about this at San Diego Comic-Con, and he echoed another game called Destiny. I don't know, I know you've heard of Destiny, but I don't know if you're a big Destiny fan, but if you participated in certain raids or you achieved a certain level of experience, Bungie would allow you to buy really cool jackets, very limited, and they had like a store that once you reached a certain level in the game, you unlocked a very, very limited window to purchase certain things, and you would have like a really cool Destiny jacket, Destiny shirt. So John's really big into trying to evolve this. So if I could pre-order an exclusive, like burn points to let me get an exclusive and just set it up ahead of time, and HQ could be like, okay, that's one we're taking out, that would be awesome. Skip the line, awesome. Like, these are great. These are the exact kind of rewards that you should actually provide. And the cool thing is they diminish. It's not like you get this permanent benefit forever. Like somebody would spend 2,000 points or 4,000 points to skip the line and to make sure that they got like the sweet exclusive that they want in their size. Somebody's going to do that. Like I'm positive somebody's going to do that. So I think we're onto something here. Ron throws another comment up here. Special pins for each tier would also be cool. I think that's a great idea, Ron. Brian says, I don't think the bottle opener should be wooden. Come on, dude. What, use your teeth. That's what real insiders do. They use their teeth to open bottles.
Right.
Specific hats. So, I don't know how well you know Ron, but Ron's a full fit guy. He's a hat, shirt, short, socks, and shoes guy. So he wants to see specific hats for each tier. I'm a hat guy too. I love it. That's really great. And then Ron, hats with the specific tier logo. Ooh, I'm a Fox tier. That's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of positives here. And now, being the pseudo game designer that I am, I went back and figured something out. And I thought about it. If you didn't care about experiences and you didn't care about getting like these shirts or these like swag sort of classified topics, and you just said, you know what, I'm just going to turn this into a rebate for Roosevelt's. And in that case, what you're doing is just cashing out all your points for the $50 discount card, right? Let's say you're doing that. So if you spend $1,500, you get 6,000 points. They're 500. Well, let's see. Hold on. Let me remind myself before I say this. They're 5,000 points a piece. $50 is 5,000 points, right? So if you, I think I figured it out. It was like a 14% discount if you just convert your points to cash every single time. And I was like, oh, that's not too bad. I'm not doing that, but I'm like, that's not too bad. So, it's really cool. So I'm taking from you that you were pretty impressed with the offering, saw a couple of opportunities for misses, but we're both encouraged about like where this might go and how it might evolve into a continuing program. Good stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna like with Roosevelt's, they are coming out with the best of intentions, and there will be people that find a way to manipulate the system, right? That will happen.
Yes.
There'll be someone like, hey, I'm gonna buy everybody's shirts, and everybody's gonna Venmo me, and I'm gonna bank these points, and then I'm gonna buy 20 KUNUs here, and then I'm gonna sell them on BSC. That will happen.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be the minority. That's not gonna be the standard. That's not gonna be what most people do. And I think the opportunity for those special tiers or those limited release products in the future are going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I think you are dead on there, Ballgame. It's been a blast hanging out with you. There's obviously a lot of shirts we could go over, but I think we're getting on to about the duration we like to stick around with. So really appreciate you taking time out, joining me here. You're always welcome here. Ollie, if you're still out there, you're also welcome. You guys are pillars of the community. Always puts a smile on my face when I see you guys post or if I see you in person. I'm always thrilled. I'm always excited to hear what you guys are up to and love listening to See Nobody Cares. It's an outstanding podcast. Everybody should be subscribed over there if you haven't. And you guys are doing a lot more content on YouTube now, right? Is that going to continue?
Yeah, we're making the shift over to YouTube and going to be trying to do more with YouTube and Instagram. For a while, we started slow and keeping it with just audio, and then we just kind of fell into that groove and kept going. But I think, now we're finally going to make that transition, which is kind of exciting for us.
Very cool. Well, I really appreciate it.
We may have to pick your brain on some of this stuff.
I'm here. I am at your disposal. I'm happy to help you guys. I'm up with content creators. I want more people making content for the community. It's a great celebration. Gives us a chance to hang out. And that's sometimes how this cast has kind of started to feel like a really great hangout with friends. Thank you to the audience. All of you folks who came over here and hung out with us this evening. Really great to see you all. Thank you for showing up, sharing your thoughts and feedback, and letting us vent our spooky and scary stories. Really enjoyed that. So with that, I think we're going to sign off. Do you know our normal sign off here?
I don't.
Well, on the count of three, we both say until next time, wear mighty things, and we'll sign off from there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good with
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Until next
Until
time.
next time.
Wear mighty
Mighty
things.
things.
So long,
All right.
everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Dustin.